Hello, I'm David Crystal, and every year I'm asked by a frustrated parent to explain fronted adverbials. Their child has come home with some homework and doesn't know what they are. Sadly, neither do the parents, who never did any grammar in school, it seems. Even more sadly, it seems many teachers are uncertain as well. Actually, it's a very simple notion. But unfortunately, the terminology gets in the way. In everyday speech, we use them all the time. And when telling a story, writers use them to add some extra excitement. So, let's separate the two words. We've got fronted and we've got adverbial. Adverbial first. Obviously, it's based on the word adverb. So, what are adverbs? Well, as the name suggests, adverbs are words that tell you more about verbs. They add something to the meaning of a verb. They tell you how something happens, or when it happens, or where it happens, or why it happens, and so on. In English, many of these adverbs end in ly. So, some examples. Let's walk. How? Quickly? Slowly? I'll visit you. When? Oh, today? Tomorrow? Now? I've used several adverbs already in this video. Do you remember me saying sadly, actually, unfortunately, that sort of thing? Now, and there's another one. Adverbs are single words. Quickly, slowly, today, tomorrow. But you can express the same kind of thought using more than one word. I'll visit you. When? On Friday. Next year. Shall we travel? Well, how? In a bus? On a train? Now, these are called adverb phrases because a phrase means more than one word. And you can express the same kind of thought in even longer ways. I'll visit you. When? After I've had my breakfast. I'll visit you. Why? Because I haven't seen you for ages. And these are called adverb clauses. Well, that's a mouthful, isn't it? We've got adverbs and adverb phrases and adverb clauses. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to put all of these into a single word instead of having to say all three? Unfortunately, there is one. They're all kinds of adverbial. An adverbial then can be a single adverb, an adverb phrase, or an adverb clause. Now, adverbs normally come next to a verb, as in the examples I used a few seconds ago. That's why they're called adverbs. The word is from Latin. Ad means at a place, or here a verb, or near a verb. So adverbs normally occur in the middle or the end of a sentence. But if you want to draw special attention to them, they can come at the beginning of a sentence, in the front. That's why they're called fronted. And they can make a huge difference. Why would we front an adverbial? Well, to make it stand out, to emphasize its meaning, to add some extra excitement to a story. Imagine you're writing a story. Here's what happened at one point. Which do you think works best as a sentence? The evil monster entered the room suddenly. The evil monster suddenly entered the room. Suddenly, the evil monster entered the room. Well, for me, putting suddenly at the beginning, at the front, makes the event more dramatic. Did you feel it too? Of course, not every adverb can be easily fronted. Take the sentence I've just used. Not every adverb can be easily fronted. I've just used easily. We don't normally front that. We don't normally say things like, easily, not every adverb can be fronted. That sounds a bit odd. But some writers are extremely keen to exploit the potential of fronted adverbials. So let me finish this little video by telling you a story. Are you sitting comfortably? This is my favourite fronted adverbial story. It's by an American author called Remy Charlip. She wrote it back in the 1960s, I think. And it's called simply Fortunately. It is. Where are we? There you go. Fortunately. And it starts like this. Fortunately, one day Ned got a letter that said, "Please come to a surprise party." Page goes black. But unfortunately, the party was in Florida and he was in New York. Fortunately, a friend loaned him an aeroplane. There it is. Unfortunately, the motor exploded. Fortunately, there was a parachute in the airplane. Unfortunately, there was a hole in the parachute. Fortunately, there was a haystack on the ground. Unfortunately, there was a pitchfork in the haystack. Fortunately, he missed the pitchfork. Unfortunately, he missed the haystack. Fortunately, he landed in water. Unfortunately, there were sharks in the water. Fortunately, he could swim. Unfortunately, there were tigers on the land. Fortunately, he could run. Unfortunately, he ran into a deep, dark cave. Fortunately, he could dig. And unfortunately, he dug himself into a fancy ballroom. Fortunately, there was a surprise party going on. Unfortunately, the party was for him, because, fortunately, it was his birthday. Happy ever after. Very good. That's Fortunately by Remy Charlip. So in short, fronted adverbials are one of the ways of adding contrast and variation to our speaking and writing style. Used well, not too often of course, they can improve your style immensely. And that, I imagine, is why they're in the national curriculum. Bye for now.